My name is Augusto Pinaud, and I'm talking today with Leo from Sorted. And Sorted is an app that combines task, calendar, events on a unified timeline to help users hyper schedule their days in one place. But instead of telling you what is the story of Sorted and how Sorted came and what is the problem they're trying to fix and everything else, let me bring Leo and let Leo one introduce yourself, Leo, so the people who is watching this video knows who you are and can pronounce your last name maybe. And for the people who are watching this, we were laughing about that for a second because uh, Leo has a Thai last name, complex for non-Thai people to pronounce. So, but let's start there. What is Sorted? How you guys started, and what is the problem you guys are trying to solve?
Right. So this came about as kind of a personal project of mine. I would describe myself as a pretty disorganized or creatively disorganized person, and I think a lot of there was many times when I jump on the task management bandwagon and kind of like fall off every few months, right? And after a couple of cycles of that, I kind of remembered this quote from Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so that's when I really decided to see if I can create an app to solve the problem for me. And then I think my co-founder, Harry, saw me using this personal version of Sorted and was interested. He was trying to figure out, trying to look for a new tool. And so I loaded it on his phone. And then I think 6 months later, he came back to me and said, look, this is the first time I was able to stick to one single tool for this long, right? Maybe we should put it on the App Store and see what happens. And so long story short, I think after a couple of years, we're now at 1.5 million downloads, and we have a good user community who's happy with the tool. And we're very glad that things turned out this way.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you on a previous conversation, one of the things that got me out of Sorted, I moved my life to an iPad in 2012, and iPad has been my main device ever since. And one of the things I found in a lot of apps is that the apps are designed for anything but the iPad or the iPhone is a second thought. It's like, oh, well, we have this cool app, let's port it. And that port never worked. So for the people who are watching this video, that was one of my first good impressions of Sorted was the fact that it's as powerful on the mobile, on the iPad, as it is on the Mac. And uh, that those are my platforms. But that was really impressive for me, and I will not be tired of praise you guys for that vision because I think more and more people is moving to those devices more than the desktops, and it is important to for people to being able to find those powerful tools. But tell me, Leo, what is Sorted? So how you will define for a person who just find this interview or just came to the summit and hear it, oh, there is somebody, an app called Sorted. What is Sorted?
So I would define Sorted as a hyperscheduler. So a tool purposefully built to help you hyperschedule. So that means I should explain what hyperscheduling is. One way to do that might be to compare to some other method that a lot of people know. For example, time blocking. Now, with time blocking, you're sort of blocking off, let's say, 2 hours for marketing, and then you would do like random marketing tasks in there, right? With hyperscheduling, we would recommend you to schedule the actual task that you have to do. For example, 15 minutes to contact a specific blogger, or 1 hour to talk with your team about a particular marketing campaign. So those are stuff you want to schedule. Now, hyperscheduling then talks about three key points in how you want to schedule these tasks. One is unified, two is flexible, and three is effortless. Now, let me get into those in a little bit more detail. You want to schedule, when you schedule things in a unified place, so meaning that you want to schedule your events and tasks together, in one place, you get a few benefits. One is you don't have to jump around to try to figure out what you're supposed to do next, right? On top of that, when you schedule, well, we all have basically 24 hours in a day, whether we're Elon Musk or whoever else. And so when you try to overschedule yourself and have a to-do list, like really long to-do list, it only causes stress for you to try to complete them, right? Because you'll never get to them all in time. But when you schedule into the available time that you actually have, then that basically eliminates that kind of stress because you will never overwhelm yourself. You have to be selective and choose exactly what it is that you want to do, get done in the limited time that you have per day, right? So flexible is because, well, none of our days are always going to go as planned. Sometimes something come up and, a meeting gets, goes longer by like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So you want to be able to kind of adjust your schedule based on these changes. And maybe what I can do is share my screen and show how that's done in Sorted.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Perfect.
So here you can see I have a schedule here. So when you need to shift things, what you can do is go use our gesture, magic select, to select a bunch of stuff. And then we have a time ruler where you can just scroll to that time ruler to shift a bunch of stuff by 15 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Or if you need to move things off to another day, what you can do is select an item and then tap on the calendar, and then it shifts to another day. So your whole schedule remains very flexible. Now, lastly, you need to do this effortlessly. And there's kind of two insights into this. One is that the return on investment, ROI, on time management is not linear, right? It's like if you don't do it, it's kind of bad because you get disorganized. But if you try to, it's not like the more you do, the more task management that you do, the more you gain out of it. It's more like probably a steep curve. You want to be able to do just enough task management that you're organized, but not too much that it eats into the time you have to actually get things done. And imagine if a tool like Sorted, where all you have to do is select tap auto schedule, and then next, and then your whole schedule is flowed into place. Then that makes it easy for you to kind of like do this day in and day out and quickly to gain the most benefit out of hyperscheduling your day.
Yeah, one of the things about that I really enjoy is, as you said, no day goes as planned. You said almost no day, and I will disagree with you respectfully and say no day go as planned. Okay, I don't remember when is the last one that went as planned, but the other part is how easy is with the application to really respond to that. As you said, hey, I had planned on that hour to do these three things, and or life change or something came, or I can only did one of the three and now I can get the other two and move them really seamless. That's I believe is really powerful. As a time management person, I agree. There is the balance between time management, the line between time management for being really effective versus time management just to fiddle with the time management is really, 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 really thin. And a tool that can help you to not play with that or don't be on the game. There are moments that the game is good, but you need to get productive, as you were saying, and that was one of the skills that I saw Sorted doing, really, really well. And in a summit like this one, where a lot of people is attracted to time blocking or has discovered the power of time blocking, there is one thing that a Sorted do, in my humble opinion, that it is really powerful. Time blocking is good, except sometimes it's painful to move from whatever tool you use to manage those tasks to that time blocking. Because the problem is when you set an account, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm going to do accounting. And if your other part, that time management time that you were talking, is not done properly, what happens is you get to 10 a.m. and if you need to plan at that 10 a.m., that hour is gone, is wasted. Instead, what I like about what I saw in Sorted is I can look at it and say, these are the 5 tasks, 10 tasks, 100 tasks, doesn't matter of that. And I can move it. And if one of the tasks took longer than I expected or something happened, it's really, as you show, a click to get the ruler, to the magic tool. I love the name of the magic tool. The magic tool to really move it around without you feel defeat. As a coach on productivity, one of the hardest things for people is feeling that defeat. Oh, I plan to do 10 things and come to the end of the day and I have 7, or worse, I did 6 of them, but now I add 27 to my inbox. Okay. And that happened to all of us. And instead of focus on what we gain, we tend to focus on all the lose that we did. And we focus on, okay, I didn't do. No, no, no. You accomplished those 6. What you may have done was miscalculate. You thought the tasks were going to be 10 minutes each and took you half an hour each. That happened, and the reasons are, infinite. But the power on the app, again, from my perspective, is exactly on there, is to reduce the stress, what letting you plan really into the detail without giving you too much room to fiddle. So I think
Right.
that's really awesome. Again, from my perspective on what you guys do, but let me ask you again from the coach perspective, because obviously when you show me the video, it's a person who understand hyper scheduling, who understand time blocking. Okay, if you understand those two concepts, you will fly with Sorted, my opinion. But what happened to the person who don't know, okay, who comes to Sorted, who comes to this summit because, okay, he has heard about, hyper scheduling, but he has only experienced, regular scheduling. Okay, he has used Outlook as many users use it. Okay, it's where people dump stuff in there, but they are happy when there is no meeting, but they have not yet learned the power of scheduling those times or protect those times. So what advice will you give them for the people who are coming to this, who are on that campus, and again, the non-time management geek, okay, who are going to play with Sorted, who is going to get for the first time into this hyper scheduling concept?
Yeah. So I think the simplest routine, and oftentimes that might be enough for most people, is to kind of you write down all the stuff that you have on your mind that you want to do, right, into the list inside Sorted, and then you try to pick a few of those and schedule it in. And I usually do this the night before each day, right? Um, and then you run auto schedule, and it'll lay out your schedule for you. And once you do that, um, you'll see whether you overbooked yourself already. And if you did, then just pick off a few of the things that you can do the next day and move them to the next day, right? Kind of reduce that list down to what fits into your schedule. And then the next day when you wake up, just follow it. Try to follow it as much as you can. And you might not be able to do exactly as planned, but that's okay, right? And once you, at the end of the day, if you have any tasks that are left over, just let it Sorted will carry it over for you. So you don't even have to move it, but you can if you want to, right? And then you just repeat that for a few days. And then what you'll find is pretty soon you'll start learning a little bit more about yourself and how you work, and how much, whether you kind of usually overestimate tasks or underestimate tasks. And then you'll kind of start, after about like 3 days, you'll start be able to hone in on what certain tasks really, how long certain tasks really take. And then by doing that, you'll learn more about yourself and when you should be doing certain tasks. Like, for example, for me, I code better when at night. So I've learned that, and I tend to now schedule my coding tasks later at night. And then I do more of my errands earlier in the day. But it all goes back to just getting started with schedule some stuff in your day, reduce it down to what fits, and then repeat that a few days, right? and then you'll start learning about yourself and how you work uh, uh, going forward.
And you bring an important point. You know, it is important to schedule not only work but also that personal stuff. You know, I'm sure when you said, "Oh, I errands in the day," you know, those many of those errands are, you know, are yourself, your family, etc. And it's important to schedule both so you can really be effective. And Sorted gives you that ability to work both. That is really, you know, really important. But what how do you use the auto scheduler for both the personal? Did you make any distinction? Is what I'm trying to ask between your personal task, your professional, and how you have seen people who do distinctions in case you don't, for those kind of tasks.
Oh, for sure. I think it's important that you schedule both for personal and for work, right? Life is not only about work. And sometimes they affect each other. For example, if you don't take care of yourself, you don't get enough sleep, you don't get enough exercise, it affects your work. So definitely when you hyperschedule anything or schedule anything, you need to schedule both, time for your workout, time for your family, all that needs to be part of your scheduling routine.
So, what is the future of Sorted? Where So you share a little bit of the story. You share how you installed the app in Harry's device, how that lead you guys to over a million, 5 million users right now. That is awesome. But what is coming in the future? What's planned? What's next? What can we give to the people who are watching this video to get them even more excited about trying Sorted?
Right. So we have a community on Slack where we get a lot of user feedback, and there are a lot of requests for certain features. So definitely part of what we want to do is continue to improve Sorted for our existing users. Uh, and then there are also this kind of vision part of our of what we planned for Sorted, and we're probably only like 40% of the way there. Part of it is like doing increasing our reach by doing a web app. So people, for example, who are using their Apple devices personally, but then using a Dell laptop in the office, will be able to access Sorted on their Dell laptop. And then there's also things that we want ourselves as well. For example, collaboration with me and my wife. So collaboration on lists and stuff like that. Right now, we kind of use a shared calendar to do that, but I think there are also improvements along that area that we're looking into right now.
So you are bringing the honeydew list to Sorted.
Yes, kind of. So there's still some details that we're pondering over, but yeah, that's definitely something we want to do in the future.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I will put all the links for Sorted for the Slack group and everything else, so that way the people who is watching this, can get the website is sortedapp.com. Twitter is at sortedhq. Leo is IMKULIO, and Harry is Harry World. Harry make it much, much easier for me for you find, plus the Slack, and we will get the links into all this. So I encourage you to try this hyper scheduling concept of Sorted for a few days and really feel yourself the benefits that you are going to gain really with the minimum efforts of this. Hyper scheduling and time blocking works much better when you plan really ahead of time what you're going to do for it with that hour. You just keep the hour in the calendar, even if you block it, but you didn't plan ahead. You need to remember, as I always said, you plan for the less intelligent part of you, not for the most intelligent part of you. The most intelligent part of you is the one who's trying to do the plan, but you always need to plan for the less intelligent part of you. That's the person who will get 2 p.m., look at the calendar and say, oh, I block it for accounting and what I'm going to do with this. Instead of that, if you sort it, you will be able to see exactly what are the tasks that you need to follow and be much more successful. Any last word to the people who are listening to us today?
Uh, yeah, I hope you get to try Sorted. And then Sorted is a free app that you can download and try. There is a 14-day free trial for some of the pro features, but you can continue using Sorted without those. So yeah, give it a try. There's no downside to it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Leo, and continue enjoying the time management and time blocking summit. Thank you.
Thank you.